You're watching the Hampton Classic Horse Show on WVVH-TV, Hampton's Television.
Hi everybody, we're here at the, I was going to say the Hamptons International Film Festival because you're on my mind, with Anne Chaisson, the Executive Director of the Hamptons International Film Festival. We're indeed at the horse show, the Hamptons Horse Show, and it's wonderful to have you here. First of all, welcome to the horse show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And I think we've been doing this since '96, and I think we have been doing the Hamptons International Film Festival around '96, I think, as well.
Great.
And these two events are near and dear to our heart. It's really amazing. But welcome to the horse show. And for you boys and girls out there, in October we have the film festival. And it is something really to behold. And Anne, if you can just give us a little overview of what to expect.
Sure. So the festival's dates this year are October 8th to the 12th. It's Columbus Day weekend. It's a beautiful 5 days out here in the fall. It's beautiful out here all the time, but the fall is quite spectacular. Mm-hmm. And we show films all the way from West Hampton to Montauk. We have 14 venues, which we've added a couple this year even. We showcase talks and screenings and lots of splashy VIP, celeb kind of screenings, not necessarily totally Hollywood, but art house films. Right. And have lovely parties and events, and so people can come and buy passes or see anything and everything they'd like, or we sell individual tickets. We have rush lines, so you can actually wait in a line and possibly get into a film that single day. So we don't want anyone to think we're ever sold out, because we're not.
And you also have not only the films, but what really people treasure are the all of the apparel and the hats and the shirts and all that stuff that has Hamptons International. You know, the starfish is an incredible logo. And no matter where in the world you go, you always see it, and you know that the person wearing it is a film buff for sure. You know what I mean? But it's something for everyone, even if you're you know, not into the nuts and bolts of filmmaking. The place is wall to wall with filmmakers, young and old. And over the years, we've had them all. I mean, we've had from people that came as students, and then a couple of years later, they have you know, an Academy Award film that they're presenting, and they remember the days when we interviewed them as budding students. And that's the thing that always interests me, because the students coming out, the enthusiasm that they come to the festival, really is the lifeblood of what the industry is about. It's not only the classic stuff, and the films of conflict and resolution are terrific, but the young students coming in are really, and you've always encouraged that.
Absolutely. From the very first year, we had a student submission process through a man named Jeremiah Newton, who was a professor.
Friend of mine, right?
Was a professor at NYU, and to this day he still does this program. So we on our regular submissions area ask for film students from around the world to submit their short films, and we choose 6 of them and invite them to come out for 3 days, and they get a cash award, and we showcase the films. And then we have 4 other short film sections, so I think we show in total about 60 short films, about 75 feature films, narrative and documentary.
And the selection process is incredible. I really go nowhere near you guys when you're selecting, because it's like an inner sanctum, some deep vault that they have these films in. And David Nugent goes through them with his crew. And always the theme, there's a certain theme every year. And it is exciting, you know, when you have, you know, the films, no matter what shape or form. The opening night films are always a blast. The closing night film is incredible, big blockbuster movies. But everything in between, you can kind of select a la carte where you want to go and what you want to see.
That's right. You can tailor a film festival to what your interests are. That's what's so beautiful about film. There's so many varied subjects that we cover. You know, some people are hardcore documentary subject followers and just can't wait to hear about the next issue or thing that they're interested, or some people only like comedy. You know, we have comedies in our World Cinema section, or comedy and Spotlight section, or even short films that are grouped in comedies. So there's a little bit of everything for anyone. You know, film festivals sometimes seem a little bit daunting because there is so much to look at, but you can always call or call the office and say, I'm only interested in these kinds of films, and people can direct you in the area of which tickets to buy. We have box office. We have a box office in Southampton. We have one in East Hampton. We have one in New York City.
Right.
And we have call-in numbers, and we have a great website, and we do lots and lots on social media. We have a whole strategy, and our wonderful woman, Kristen, who runs that, actually interviews lots and lots of filmmakers and puts those interviews up on our website. So it puts the trailers up on the website so you can actually go and explore and look. And honestly, a lot of people who have been loyal film goers for years and years sometimes rather not knowing what the films are, and they go in and they buy a smattering of tickets based on what kinds of sections they know about, or they just buy an all-access pass and they just roam in and out of the different screenings just to see if they can be surprised.
These are the people that end up in New York having mystery dinners, not knowing what they're going to have.
Exactly.
You know, which is good. Well, every dinner for me is a mystery, so it's a whole deal.
But the most special thing about filmmakers is that the filmmakers are here. The artists who create those projects are here. So it's not only you going into a screening and maybe experiencing something you've never experienced before. You actually get to talk to the person who did it and understand who commits their life, as you well know, and I know as a producer, who commits their life to a subject. And sometimes it takes 5 years, 10 years to make these films, and it's always an interesting tale to know why they made it, how it was made, and then what they're going to do with it now.
And being one of the film commissioners for the county, we're always interested in films made here on Long Island.
Yes.
And you have always been very sensitive to that. And I know, you know, we've had great films like Soldier Ride the movie. Was done here
last year,
Last year, a great movie, and if you haven't seen it, go take a look at that. But over the years, we really sort of are very sensitive to that, and we're proud of what we have, and you always bring that forward.
Well, we have a section in the festival called Views from Long Island, and so it's a collection of films that were either made about the area, for the area, from someone who lives in the area. So we're cultivating that film community that actually is out here. This year, as a matter of fact, we have a film in the Views from Long Island section called When I Live My Life Over Again. And it's a narrative fiction piece where Christopher Walken is a retired crooner, sort of like a Bob Hope, or I think of somebody, I can't think of a person right now.
Bob Hope would do it.
Bob Hope is a good one, and he's trying to restart his career. Bob Hope's more of a comedian, but he's trying to restart his career, and he and his daughter have an estranged relationship, and she's a singer as well, and so it's about...
And that was shot on Long Island.
It was shot all over the Hamptons, actually. So the Maidstone and Pierre's and Bridgehampton and walking down the street in East Hampton and the beach. I mean, everything is showcased in this movie. There's a little bit of music. There's a lot of acting. Amber Heard, Johnny Depp's wife, plays his daughter.
But no cowbells in that movie, right?
No cowbells. That would be nice. It would be nice. But he sings a title song for the movie, so we've been hoping he's going to come and actually perform that song at some point, but that remains to be seen.
And in the old days, a conversation with was always a mystery. And when we would do stand-up in front of the theater, we would always sort of goad the crowd into thinking who's going to be the surprise guest. And it was always...
That's a good idea.
Well, I think they did it for a number of years, and all of a sudden I guess for whatever the reason, they figured, you know, the jig is up, let's tell people who they're going to go see. But when it was a mystery, I'll tell you, it was really amazing, because people waiting online, and we would work the crowd up and say, you know, it's Elvis has made an appearance in one of the movies or something like that. But it is another thing, it's live, it's at Guildhall usually, and
Bay Street.
And Bay Street.
In Sag Harbor,
And just to touch upon that, isn't that amazing that you can come and enjoy? I mean, we once had one, and he was a mystery guest at the time. Rod Steiger was the mystery guest, and we had an opportunity to interview him and everything. And I mean, he was a colossal talent, as you know. But people at the end of the conversation with everybody in the audience that wanted to had opportunity to speak with them. It was the coolest thing.
That's amazing. Well, we've grown a lot since those time frames, and I think we only did the one. And now, for example, last year we had 5.
Whoa.
We had Laura Dern and Patty Clarkson and Mark Ruffalo. We honored Joel Schumacher, the director, so he had a conversation with. So we had quite a lot. And this year is probably going to prove to sort of be the same thing.
Excellent.
So,
And Alec Baldwin is, he's amazing. I think there must be 3 or 4 clones of him because he's inexhaustible. He provides such energy, and he's a devoted to the festival and to the East End. And
to the East End, yes, and many, many different nonprofits like ourselves. But we are so excited. He's been on our board for about a decade, but he is now going to be our incoming co-chair.
With Stewart.
With Randy Mastro, starting right after this particular film festival on the 23rd edition. So he's becoming even more committed, which we're elated.
Well, it's an amazing time. It's good to go see films. Great time of the year. You can enjoy the winery. You don't have to put on. You can some days it's beautiful like this. You don't need to have a top coat or anything.
That's right.
The requisite color is black, don't you think?
I will be wearing white.
All right.
No,
because you're the executive director, Anne. And no one's allowed to wear white except Anne. But the rest of us will be
just today.
It will be in turtlenecks or narrow jackets and whatever, you know.
Right. It's usually beautiful during the day and a little chilly at night, which is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll be in our position at the Maidstone, your central area there.
Headquarters. That's right.
And it's very comfortable, and the filmmakers show up, and we kind of just have no script or nothing. We just sort of at the discretion of what the film festival wants us to talk with, or who they want us to talk about. We bring them on, and this way the viewers at home throughout our tri-state area can see it. And we're really proud to be media sponsors with you for a long time. We're dedicated to you guys.
Thank you.
And we believe in the product. We believe in what you do as a service. And we welcome you to the horse show today.
Thank you.
And I think the only movie I think we could talk about, or the television product, is Mr. Ed, but I'm not going to bring that up. I submitted that and it was rejected, of course. But
Yeah.
it was done.
You know, and our submissions are up this year. We're up, way up than we were in years past. So the team's been really, really busy, and we've got a.
I give an idea. It's like it used to be
lineup.
Like 200-300 at one time when you.
Oh no, we're up to about 2,700 submissions now.
2,700.
Yeah.
And each one is viewed from stem to stern.
Right, we have a screening committee, and then there's a judging scenario and a numbers system,
Wow.
and it goes up the ranks until it makes it to a certain level. But like I said, we have 130 films typically.
And the judges you have been with you, a lot of them, a very long time. I mean, they know, you know.
You mean for the programming?
Yes.
Programming department, yes.
That's great. Well, Anne, I really appreciate you being here. Again, before we go, you have to give them the website.
Absolutely. So the dates again are October 8th to the 12th, which is Columbus Day weekend, and the website is www.hamptonsfilmfest.org.
And each year, you guys come up with an incredible poster, the Hamptons International Film Festival poster. And this year, the 23rd year, if you could believe that, you have an exciting artist that integrated all of the elements of filmmaking into the piece.
Yes. Well, actually, we have an amazing process as to how we choose the artist every year. Michael Lynn, who was one of the co-founders of New Line Cinema, is an avid art collector, and it's actually he who contacts an East End artist. So you have to be someone who has a connection out here. You live out here, you've painted about out here. We did have Julian Schnabel one year. We had Bruce Weber. We've had April Gornick, Eric Fischel. The list goes on and on.
Too
but
bad Pollock isn't alive. He would have done it.
Yeah, that would have been amazing. Or even Krasner, the
sure.
wife. But this year it's David Saleh, and David Saleh is the wonderful distinction of this being his third time working with us. I think he worked with us the second or third year, and then sometime in the early 2000s, and now which were both color collage pieces, and we chose a beautiful black and white collage piece from his most recent collection. So we're so lucky
they're highly
to be able to have this
collectible
access.
too. I mean,
absolutely.
I have a couple at home from the early days that are amazing, and you know, you never get tired of looking at them.
No, it's true.
If the artist is around, you could have them sign it.
Well, we get them signed, and we actually sell them during the film festival. You can get a signed poster and start collecting them. And we actually do have an archive, and so when we get to the 25th anniversary, we'll probably try to sell the collection again as well. We've kept that many in the archive. So, yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. As a matter of fact, the New York Film Festival at the Film Society of Lincoln Center does something similar, and all through the last 3 seasons of Mad Men. Peggy, if you know who Peggy is, Peggy had the second year poster from the New York Film Festival on her wall in her
That's right,
office.
that's right.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
And I was like, wow, what a
lift.
great job that person did.
Yeah, that's
And
wonderful.
researching.
Yeah, and placing the right one up at the right time, you know, it's
That's right.
amazing. And also gave a lift to the festival, too.
That's right.
Can't hurt, as they
Absolutely.
say.
Get your Hamptons International Film Festival
Poster.
now.
If you want to be a sponsor of the Film Fest, I could recommend that too. If you're, sitting at home and you say, my company or my product needs a great spot, a perfect thing to sort of be associated with, the Film Festival, the corporate division there can actually help you to sort of, they have the lanyards, they have, if you're gift bags, they need, for the filmmakers, they need stuff in the gift bags. If you're, a wine merchant or you have a certain product that is film related, contact them because it's the best showcase for your product, bar none.
Yes, not even just film related. It can be any product. We're happy to help launch
makeup
makeup, clothing, cars, hats.
Well, again, we appreciate it. Enjoy today. You'll get a different view of what we do here live with the horse show. But again, I really am proud to be with you, and thank you. And we will give it 100%. The whole team will dedicate ourselves before, during, and after the film festival.
We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. It's going to be a great year.
You're watching the Hampton Classic Horse Show on WVVH-TV, Hamptons Television.